Hi, my name is Romy. Welcome or welcome back to Start Pages. In today's reading vlog, not only will I be reading, updating you on the books I'm reading and then reviewing the books I read, I will also be studying because I have started university. So I'm also trying to figure out how to balance university work with reading and then social media surrounding reading. So here we have booktube and then we have bookstagram and booktalk and whatnot. So in the clip I'm studying, but like at the time of that studying and also at the time of this voiceover, I'm reading And Break the Pretty Kings by Lena Jeong, and according to Goodreads, the summary is: a crowned princess, a monster that the gods fear, a destiny that no one can outrun. Inspired by Korean history and myths, the first book in the Sacred Bone series is a rich and evocative high-stakes fantasy that is perfect for fans of Gallant and Six Crimson Cranes. Mireille was meant to save her queendom, but the ceremony before her coronation ends in terror and death, unlocking a strange new power within her and foretelling the return of a monster even the gods fear. Amid the chaos, Mireille's beloved older brother is taken, threatening the peninsula's already tenuous truce. Desperate to save her brother and defeat this ancient enemy before the queendom is beset by war, Mireille sets out on a journey with an unlikely group of companions, while her unpredictable magic gives her terrifying visions of a future she must stop at any cost. So I'm about 50% of the way through this book and I'm enjoying it so far. However, as I got close to the 50% mark and past the 50% mark, I started to get a little frustrated with one or two scenes because there have been, well, there's one important scene so far where Mireille met a character and she got a piece of information, and instead of taking the information as it was so that she can move on to help her on her quest, she changed the information to fit the story that she already knew. And like, I can understand why she did it, but it was so very obvious and very stupid. So like, she's going on a quest after she got that piece of information and she's moving forward with incorrect, goals because of how she changed the information that she got, and there was no reason for her to change it. Like, I mean, there was, but it's also very stupid. And then as we go further along in the book, the author is very obviously setting up a plot twist for Mireille to discover that, oh, everything she was taught was false, or maybe her queendom was the villain all along, or whatever. And it's very obvious. Like, the plot points are just written in bold and like blinding me, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong, because if not, I'm going to be kind of disappointed because of how obvious it was starting from halfway through the book. And then also the description, I hate when descriptions give you like a false piece of information, because it says a team of unlikely allies, but the people that she went on the trip with, they're not no unlikely allies. They're people that are around her every single day from like before she needed to leave. So that's what's happening right now. I will update you when I finish the book, or if I have something else important to say before I finish. So I am back from school, university. This is what I wore today. These are the shoes. Can you see? This is what I wore. So now I'm going to go get my nails and like my toenails and fingernails done. I just came home to get flip-flops because my toes, and also appointment is at 2 and I finished school at 12 today. So yeah, but I'm still reading And Break the Pretty Kings. So hopefully I finish it today because September is almost over and I haven't read any books yet. It's like, I think it's like, today's Friday, and I don't remember when I did the other clip. I think it was Monday and I didn't update anything. This is what I wore to my class today. It's this and these sweatpants. I already took off my shoes, but I wore white sneakers. So I finished And Break the Pretty Kings by Lena Jeong. I'm giving it 3 stars, and it's a generous 3-star. When I first finished it, I didn't even know, I'm wavering between a 2.5 star and a 3-star, because as I said in the last update, I think I said in the last update, for the first half of the book I was enjoying it. It was kind of an okay, just like, okay, cool to read, not thinking too hard about it, not having any extreme feelings, but also not disliking it. I mean, that doesn't sound good, but it was okay. I was liking it. But then as I got past the 50-page mark, or even leading up to the 50-page mark, I started noticing a couple of details. So the main character, Mireille, she was born with these she was born with the ability to do the 3 types of magic that they have in the kingdom, and she has to learn to master them to pass this trial to become the queen and the protector of her queendom, right? I said kingdom, it's the queendom. But once she passes her trial, when she becomes the her prize, other than becoming the queen and, you know, whatever, is that she gets a protector from one of the 3 main, like one of the 3 most powerful queens of her queendom's history, right? And then choosing that protector will give her extra powers, right? And she chooses this, like, she ends up choosing this one protector who gives her the power to switch, which lets her switch places with herself from either forward or backward in time, right? So then after she gets that power, for the rest of the book, anytime she gets into like a big fight, like any serious situation that's supposed to be like adrenaline pumping, anything that's supposed to be like a big fight, like a very important confrontation, she switches place with her future self and lets her future self do the fight, which would have been fine, except we didn't get to see it because we follow current Mireille to the past or to the future, wherever she goes. It's always in the future. We follow her to the future, and she gets some important information which is never that important in my opinion, and even if it is, she ends up taking that information and doing absolutely nothing with it, or switching it around in her brain until she's following the wrong information, and everybody can see that except her. Well, not everybody, the readers, because she's not telling the other characters these things. So then when she's done, when she gets her little tidbit of information, she comes back and all her problems are solved and we don't get to see it. And it's like, I feel like the author just did it so that she didn't have to write the fight scenes. And I'm like, 1 time, okay. 2 times, stop playing in my face. 3 times, jail. And also those switches when she went to the future, the information that she's getting is not important enough for her to be doing that and for me to be following her for so long, and it's slowing down the book because the tone of the book itself, we are getting told that she needs to save her brother and she needs to enter the sovereign state. That's where her brother is, the sovereign state of her queendom, which is also a kingdom in itself. They never explained. She needs to go in there, and that place bans magic while hers is full of magic, but only women get to use magic in her queendom. But she needs to go over there and keep her identity hidden so that she doesn't give them an excuse to start the war that they want to start or whatever. So she has a tight time schedule she needs to work on. She has like high stakes, but I'm not feeling that. The book feels so calm, and it's not a good thing because you're telling me about a war that's you're trying to fend off. You're telling me about people you're trying to hide from. You're telling me about your brother you're trying to save, and I just feel like we're eating cookies together and having a nice conversation. Like, amp up the stakes. And then the backstory, or like the whole situation between Siola, I think that's how you pronounce it. Hold on. Or maybe if it's like Seoul, but Sola and Joseon, which is a sovereign state. Apparently there was a war between them, and Sola wins, and now like Joseon is a sovereign state of Sola, but in order to keep the peace, the heads of Sola are not allowed to enter Joseon, and the heads of Joseon are not allowed to enter Sola, and it's a whole thing. But we never actually. Oh, and like during the book, I'm in my head like she's talking about how, oh, Joseon is so bad, or oh, Joseon's king stole my brother and I'm trying to prevent the war, whatever. But then she's meeting with the big bad, who she's thinking, oh, it's not the actual bad guy anymore. She's talking about, oh, I'm in my head, I'm predicting that, oh, it's going to be that thing where we find out that the people that she was growing up trusting, or all the history that she learned, they were actually the bad guys all along. And it was a situation like that where she finds out her mother isn't all that good. But even that, that wasn't enough. It never make any sense. Like, it was a little personal grudge thing, but it wasn't enough for the way how she was reacting or the way how it was being built up. And then there's a scene where she's like, oh, her throne is built upon the broken dreams and broken bones of people from Joseon, whatever, and she needs to contend with that, and she needs to learn how to fix it. We never actually know what goes on between Sola and Joseon. Like, we know there's a war, we don't know what started it. So how are we supposed to believe that in the beginning Joseon is a big bad, or no, that Sola is actually the reason Joseon is like fighting for the rights? Like, what rights are they fighting for? What are they fighting for? We don't know. Why are they going to war? We don't know. And then throughout the book, Mireille is just so stupid, because even after she finds out that a character wasn't on her side as much as she thought, or was tricking her this whole time, she still trusts information that she got from this character, or she still trusts an item that she gets from this character early on in the book, and thinks that's like a saving grace, and she's using it to help her and other characters, and then is all surprised when it blows up in her face. Like, use your brain. So I'm giving it a tentative 3-star with the thought of changing it to 2.5 stars. I think it's, I know it's a part of, I know it's the first book, and the second book title has already been announced, and the name of the series has been announced, but I don't know if it's a series like 4 books, or if it's a trilogy or a duology. But I'm not gonna read the second book. I didn't hate it, but I have no interest in continuing the series. Okay, now I'm going to go do some more note taking and studying, and I'm currently rereading This Poison Heart by Kalynn Bayron. And I want to do a video where I'm reading all of Kalynn Bayron's books. So I have This Poison Heart, I have This Wicked Fate, and I have Cinderella is Dead, and I'm gonna get the ebooks for the other books that I don't have. But I don't know if I want to like review This Poison Heart and This Wicked Fate in this video, or leave it until the other vlogs I want to do. But anyway, that's the update for now. Okay, so I don't know how many days it's been since I recorded the update for Unbreaking Pretty Kings, because one, it took longer than I thought to read it. Not because the book was bad, or not because I needed a long time to read it. I just wasn't like reading it straight. And you know, university and thing. Plus I got sick, so I wasn't doing anything. So I finished This Poison Heart by Kalynn Bayron. This is a reread. The first time I read it, when I just finished it, I gave it 4.5 stars. And like an hour later, I was like, nah, this is a 5-star book. And I changed it to 5-star. And I reread it. And thank God, I've given it 5 stars again, and it's not that if auntie situation where I read it, gave it 5 stars, and I read it again, I gave it 3 stars. But yes, giving it 5 stars again because I loved it. So if you don't know what This Poison Heart is about, let me just read the synopsis on what's up the back. It says, Bree sees her gift. She can grow an apple tree from a seed in her heartbeat, and flowers bloom at her touch. And when she inherits an old house, she suddenly has the privacy to test her powers for the first time. But as Bree starts to magic the house's rambling grounds back to life, she finds she has also inherited generations of secrets. In a hidden garden overgrown with the most deadly poisonous plants on earth, a dark legacy lies waiting for her, and Bree's long departed ancestors won't let her rest until she finds it. So yeah, the book was really interesting. My favorite part of this book is that even though Bree tries to keep the most dangerous parts about what she's discovering from her appearance, like her being immune to poison and her having a whole poison garden behind the regular garden that she inherits in the house, the parents are still very involved, or as involved as they can be with what Bree lets them know. So like, she told us that from she got her powers, her parents were letting her explore, or encouraging her to explore her powers until it became dangerous, or what they thought was dangerous for her. So I just love when parents are involved. I don't know what to say, guys. I just love this book so much. I just love this book so much. The first time I read it, I wasn't expecting the Greek mythology tie-in, but since I read it, since it was a reread, I was expecting it. And the first time and this time is just as great. It was woven into the story very well, in a very interesting way. I don't know how much of it was like Kalynn Bayron changing the story, like well-known versions of the story, or like creating a new version to fit this book, or just picking a version that she liked best and working it into this book. I don't know, but I like the version that was in here. I like the suspense of the ending for the second book. I'm rooting for the romance between Breezy's and Marie, even though, like, rereading it the second time, there was a lot of on-page development, but it's okay. The sapphics don't need that. They don't need all of that. But the tension was there. The romantic tension was there. I was seeing the connection. I was rooting for the connection, and I'm excited to see what takes place in the second book between Breezy and Marie. But I'm just saying, it was kind of instant attraction, instant, you know, we could be together, and I'm like, people do that. anyway, rereading it the second time, I can see how well hints were dropped for like the plot twist at the end of the book. The first time I knew, like when I got to the end, I knew that the hints were dropped really well, and like Kalynn Bayron was leaving a trail to follow to like unwind the twist at the end, the plot twist at the end. But reading the second time and knowing what's going to happen and see things play out on the page, she did really well. So I highly recommend this book, and I'm very sorry I don't have anything else to say because this book was amazing. But like, the better the book, the less you have to say, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna read This Wicked Fate now, and I'm going to force my siblings to read this book. Okay, bye. Okay, hi, I'm here to wrap up this reading vlog. I did complete This Wicked Fate in September, and oops, sorry. I did read This Wicked Fate by Kalynn Bayron in September, and I did give it 5 stars. I loved it as much as the first book, though I will say, so the stakes, based on the ending of the first book, This Poison Heart, the stakes are higher from the beginning in This Wicked Fate. So we do have a sense of tension throughout the whole book that wasn't there until maybe halfway through in This Poison Heart. But Kalynn Bayron still managed to have the same strong romantic relationship, romantic build-up, romantic development, or even more romantic development between Bree and Marie than in the first book, which I was looking forward to. And then even though a certain character was missing because of reasons, I could still feel the love between that character and another character. I don't want to spoil it because it's gonna spoil the end of the first book if I tell you about it, but I could still feel the love between those two characters based on how the character who was still there was behaving in this book, and the new characters that were introduced there added a new dynamic to this book that I really enjoyed. I will say though that this book did wrap up a little bit conveniently. It was a little bit too neat with just like one kind of casualty, I will say, but I don't care because I love the book anyway, and it was still a 5-star read for me. And sometimes black girls just deserve to be happy. That's all we need sometimes. So I'm gonna give Kalynn Bayron a pass in this book for the neat and tidy, convenient, because Bree still worked for it. Bree and other characters, they still worked for what they had. Like the ending short was a little bit. They worked for what they had. They worked for what they got. So I'm not gonna take away their accomplishments, but it was a little bit, yeah. But I don't care. I don't care. I was glad to see more Bree and Marie in this book, as I said. Another thing is Kalynn Bayron expanded the versions of the Greek myths that she used in this book. She added new characters or added new bits of lore to the book. But that's really all I have to say, because I just love the series so much, and I love Kalynn Bayron's work so much. Like, I love these two books so much, and the synopsis, like the The synopses of her other books sound so interesting that I'm pretty sure Kalynn Bayron is going to be an author author, or is an author author for me from this point on. But anyway, that's all I have to say regarding liking, commenting, and subscribing. Do what you want. Bye.